The next thing that I think a lot of people really don't spend a lot of time on is what happens when we don't agree. What's a good dispute resolution thing that people need to think about that most people don't?
Yeah, so when you're going into your contract, you really want to think about how do I want my disputes, if it ever should arise, to be dealt with, right? And there, in Ontario at least, there are generally three mechanisms whereby you can have a dispute resolved: mediation, arbitration, or litigation. And so depending on the type of business that you have, so let's say, you have a business where privacy and secrecy of your product is really important to you, then you may want to consider mediation and arbitration versus litigation. Because mediation and arbitration, those are private processes. Those are private processes where in mediation, you meet with a neutral third party, the mediator, who helps to facilitate dialogue between the parties and help them reach a settlement. They don't make the decision for you and they don't force you to settle, but they help you to come to a compromise. And arbitration, similar, where you have a neutral third party involved who acts as a judge in that case. And they hear the evidence, they hear the arguments from both sides, and then they make a decision that is binding on the dispute. But the thing with arbitration, it's a private process, right? So it doesn't get reported publicly. No one will ever know about it unless the parties agree to share the terms of that decision. Whereas with litigation, that's more the traditional legal process where disputes are resolved in court, right? So again, in front of a judge, possibly a jury, you follow formal procedures, formal rules of evidence, but everything is in the public record. And so you or I can go look that up, the decision following a lawsuit, if we want to know, what happened in a particular case. So
That makes total sense.
those are the things that you want to think about when you're getting into dispute resolution. And also with mediation and arbitration, those tend to be less costly than litigation, and the process tend to be faster than litigation.
Did you ever, and mediation makes sense because that person is, trying to find the ground that everybody settles on. Arbitration, do you ever find the focus really becomes on who is the arbitrator and, who is the person who is actually going to make the decision? Or do you find that they just mutually come together on picking that fairly quickly?